Wisdom, wisdom, that's the test. Which rival wisdom team is best? 52 teams of 8 antique rival wisdoms compete to do the future a favor and guide a life at stop2think.com. Team quote 45.1. Remember tonight, for it is the beginning of always. Dante Alighieri 1265-1321. This romantic and poetic line from Dante Alighieri captures a profound truth about pivotal moments in our lives. Those instances when we recognize that everything is about to change. The quote speaks to the recognition of a threshold moment, when the present transforms into something eternal. How certain experiences become touchstones in our lives, forever marking a before and after. The way love or profound realizations can make time feel both instantaneous and infinite. The human capacity to recognize watershed moments while we're living them. What makes this quote particularly powerful is how it weaves together different dimensions of time. Remember speaks to the future looking back. Tonight anchors us in the immediate present. Always extends into infinite time ahead. The sentiment would have been deeply meaningful in Dante's medieval context, where much of life was seen through the lens of eternity and divine love. But it resonates just as strongly today in our secular world, speaking to those moments when we sense that something momentous is occurring, falling in love, making a life-changing decision, or experiencing a profound realization. It's particularly moving that Dante frames this as an imperative. Remember, suggesting we have an active role in preserving these precious moments of transformation in our consciousness. Team quote 45.2. Diligence is the mother of good fortune. Benjamin Disraeli 1804-1881. This quote from Benjamin Disraeli, who rose from relative obscurity to become Prime Minister of Britain, reflects both his personal experience and a universal truth about success. The metaphor of diligence as a mother is particularly apt because it suggests that good fortune isn't simply random luck, but rather something nurtured and developed. Success requires consistent care and attention, like a parent raising a child. The relationship between effort and outcome is natural and fundamental. Results take time to mature and develop, just as a child grows gradually. The wisdom here lies in challenging the notion of luck or fortune as purely chance events. Instead, Disraeli suggests that favorable outcomes are often the natural result of persistent effort, born from sustained attention to detail, created through consistent methodical work, cultivated through patient dedication. This perspective would have resonated particularly in Victorian Britain, where the Protestant work ethic and self-help philosophy were prominent. But it remains equally relevant today, suggesting that while chance plays a role in life, sustained effort creates the conditions for success to flourish. The quote also implies that diligence doesn't just affect outcomes. It shapes character, building the capacity for achievement just as a mother shapes a child's development. Team quote 45.3. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Aristotle 384 BC, 322 BC. This profound observation from Aristotle speaks to the fundamental nature of excellence and how it is achieved. It's particularly striking coming from one of history's greatest philosophers, who spent his life examining how humans develop virtue and capability. The distinction between act and habit is crucial here because it reveals that quality isn't about occasional bursts of excellence. True quality emerges from consistent patterns of behavior. Excellence becomes ingrained through repetition. Single instances of good work don't create lasting quality. The insight reflects Aristotle's broader understanding of human development, suggesting that we become what we repeatedly do. Character is built through consistent practice. Excellence isn't a one-time achievement but a way of being. Lasting quality comes from habitual attention to detail. This understanding remains remarkably relevant today, whether applied to professional work and craftsmanship, personal development and character building, educational achievement, artistic creation, leadership and management. The quote's endurance over millennia suggests it captures something fundamental about human nature and achievement. That true quality isn't about reaching a standard once, but about maintaining it as an integral part of who we are and what we do. Team quote 45.4. One must work and dare if one really wants to live. Vincent Van Gogh 1853 to 1890. This powerful statement from Van Gogh encapsulates his intense approach to both art and life, revealing deep insights about what it means to truly live, rather than merely exist. The quote pairs two essential elements: work, representing dedicated effort, persistence, and the development of skill; dare, suggesting courage, risk-taking, and pushing beyond comfortable boundaries. Coming from Van Gogh, this philosophy carried particular weight because he lived it fully, working tirelessly at his art despite lack of recognition. He dared to develop a revolutionary artistic style that broke with conventions. His life embodied both the rewards and costs of living by these principles. He pursued his vision despite financial hardship and personal struggles. The phrase "really wants to live" is especially significant, implying that true living requires active engagement rather than passive existence. Meaningful life demands both effort and courage. There's a distinction between biological existence and authentic living. Real living involves pushing beyond safe mediocrity. This perspective remains strikingly relevant today, challenging us to examine whether we're truly living or simply going through the motions. It suggests that a full life requires both the discipline of sustained effort and the courage to take meaningful risks. Team quote 45.5. Always do what you are afraid to do. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803 to 1882. This bold directive from Emerson captures a fundamental principle about personal growth and the nature of fear as a compass pointing toward necessary challenges. What makes this insight particularly powerful is its paradoxical nature. Fear typically signals what we want to avoid. Yet Emerson suggests these are precisely the things we should pursue. The very presence of fear may mark important opportunities. Our instinct to retreat might indicate where we most need to advance. However, it's worth noting that Emerson isn't advocating recklessness or foolhardiness. Rather, he's addressing those fears that hold us back from meaningful growth, keep us in our comfort zone, prevent us from reaching our full potential, stand between us and our aspirations. The wisdom lies in recognizing that facing our fears expands our capabilities, builds confidence through direct experience, reduces the power fear holds over us, creates momentum for further growth. This philosophy aligns with modern psychological understanding about exposure therapy and the importance of facing, rather than avoiding our fears for personal development. Team quote 45.6. Begin to be now what you will be hereafter. William James 1842 to 1910. This profound quote from William James, one of the pioneers of modern psychology, encapsulates a fundamental truth about personal development and the nature of becoming. The wisdom lies in recognizing that our future self is created by our present actions. Change happens through current choices, not future intentions. Character develops through immediate practice, not delayed promises. The path to becoming begins with being. The quote carries particular weight because it challenges common patterns of postponing personal change to some ideal future moment, waiting for perfect conditions before beginning, separating who we are from who we want to become, thinking of change as something that happens suddenly rather than gradually. James's psychological insight reveals that identity is shaped by current behaviors and choices. Future transformation requires present action. Character is built through daily practices. The gap between aspiration and reality closes through immediate steps. This perspective remains powerfully relevant today, especially in a culture that often promotes quick fixes and dramatic transformations. Instead, James suggests that authentic change comes through aligning our present actions with our future aspirations, making the future self emerge through current choices and behaviors. Team quote 45.7. I have laid aside business and gone a-fishing. Izaak Walton 1593 to 1683. This quote from Izaak Walton, author of The Complete Angler, speaks to the wisdom of stepping away from life's demands to find peace in simple pleasures. Going fishing represents A deliberate choice to pause and reflect. Trading profit for peace. Choosing natural rhythms over artificial deadlines. Finding wisdom in quiet contemplation. Laid aside business suggests. Recognition of work's proper place in life. The importance of conscious disengagement. Prioritizing well-being over wealth. Understanding that productivity isn't everything. Walton's perspective was revolutionary for his time and remains relevant today. In an age of constant connectivity, when work often bleeds into personal time, when success is often measured purely in business terms, when people struggle to truly disconnect, the quote's gentle humor and straightforward phrasing mirror the very simplicity it advocates. It's not just about fishing. It's about choosing to step away from life's complexities to engage with something more fundamental and nourishing to the soul. Team quote 45.8. In health there is freedom. Health is the first of all liberties. Henri Frédéric Amiel, 1821–1881. This quote by Swiss philosopher Henri Frédéric Amiel expresses a profound connection between physical health and personal freedom. Let me break down its meaning. The first part, in health there is freedom, suggests that good health enables us to live life fully and independently. When we're healthy, we have the physical and mental capacity to pursue our goals, make choices, and engage with life without the constraints that illness imposes. The second part, health is the first of all liberties, reinforces and extends this idea by positioning health as the foundation for all other freedoms. Amiel suggests that without health other liberties, whether political, social, or economic, become difficult or impossible to fully exercise. For example, even if you have the legal right to work or travel, poor health can prevent you from doing so. This quote is particularly poignant coming from Amiel, who suffered from various health issues throughout his life. His most famous work, The Journal in Time, was published posthumously and often reflected on themes of life, suffering, and human nature. The quote ultimately reminds us that health is not just the absence of illness, but a fundamental prerequisite for human autonomy and self-determination. And to help raise school test scores and confidence with free Easy Extra Advantage Math, spelling and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free Easy Math Wisdom Workbooks with octo-repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free Easy Alpha Cipher-coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this cipher quote of encouragement using either our Learning to Spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt, and most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equalities are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms, like Pretty Witty Baby Onesies and Pretty Witty Kids. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think tees I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom. Make us all wiser and kinder. And for a downloadable PDF of these team quotes, join the 52 of 8 today.